Welcome
Don't worry.
to Your Brother Might Like This.
JC's not here to hurt us this time, so
No.
everyone can feel free. I'm just going to do a couple of announces.
Announces?
We're going to tell everyone we're streaming because this is a special time, isn't it? What is this special episode about?
It's a special place. I've dubbed this Three Grandmas Yapping About the Picture Box.
The picture box. I like that.
The picture box, yeah. The little talkie
All right,
box.
I'm almost done making my little announcements.
That's fine. So we're here. A very special time, very special place. Because Prag finally finished the Fallout TV show.
I did. It was a struggle.
Which came out 6 months ago. So we are very, very topical on the show.
One more announcement, and I'm going to full focus talk about this quest to watch all 8 episodes.
Right. So you do that. You do that. So we're watching. We watched the Fallout TV show. It is based on the popular post-apocalyptic video game by Bethesda Studios, and it came out 6 months ago this year. It was very eagerly anticipated. A lot of people were very excited about it. Video game adaptations, up until pretty recently, have been pretty bad.
Not good.
Yeah, in all forms, TV shows and movies. So
I mean, we're all addicted to the Twisted Metal show, of course.
Right? Yeah, obviously, yes.
And
season 2 could not come faster.
They've made so many bad video game adaptations that, and Bethesda's had some problems lately developing Fallout. I think compared to their Halcyon days with 3 and New Vegas, which was made by another studio, Obsidian, right? But no, this was an amazing surprise. They finally got people who understand video games and canon and lore building and just world building, and then gave the characters interesting things to do and say, which is probably the biggest problem. Like, they got the lore and everything every time they try to make a video game movie or show, but then they just didn't have anything interesting happening. So this was a comedy too.
Yeah. Did you play any of the Fallouts before this?
Yeah, I played Fallout 3, and I'm it's like one of those games that you have to invest like a lot of time into.
Yeah.
I love those types of, I played the Outer Worlds all the way through, actually, just because it's kind of like a Fallout clone. I finished it. I didn't play the DLC, but I have that.
Get through that game.
Why didn't you like that one?
I don't know. There's just a lot of talking.
It was at a time in my life when I needed to shut my brain off and just grind.
Okay.
And it wasn't like, I'm like, okay, the story's a little janky, and like, it was just like, I enjoyed the, those games are very much, you have to get into that grind mode where you enjoy the loot and the upgrades, and you get kind of like, you turn into a little machine, a little dungeon clearing machine, and you can't wait to get the new weapon. And that's the vibe from Fallout and most Bethesda games, like Skyrim, of course, too. Is grind fest. That's in a game I never got into, which is crazy because I love those types of games. But for whatever reason, Skyrim, the FPS put me off a little bit or something. I don't know. People love that game, but it's just like, I don't know. I bought PS3 edition, PS4, PS5. I've bought it 45 times, but now it's too old. The assets are, even if they put a new coat of paint on it,
you might like it now. Maybe on PC, might be better for you.
I might like it.
And it's super cheap all the time, so it's like, what's buying it a 17th time? Yeah,
nothing. They should just be giving it away now. At this point, I'm looking forward for the sequels. I want to see what they do with the good assets.
I mean, maybe they finally move on to the next engine. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I played 3. Fallout 3 is my first one. I loved it. I played 4. I enjoyed 4 a lot. And then
that was a disappointment, though, right? When it came out, 4 people.
A lot of people didn't like 4.
Sad about it because it didn't look as great as people expected it when you upgrading to, because they were still using the older engine or whatever. And there's also a lot of bugs with Bethesda games the first 3 or 4 years they come out.
Yeah, and especially too, like they introduced like the new, or not the new, but they were doing the branching options when the dialogue
Right.
but it ended up all being kind of the same. So it's like, oh, give a sarcastic answer or give a joyous answer, and it was just the same answer, said like very minorly differently, but it was like it was the same thing. There's no real. And then
wasn't
the
a
base building, I
dynamic
hated
world.
the base building of that fucking game.
Yeah, that was another sad thing.
And then Fallout 76, that was a giant nightmare when it launched.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
People are upset about that game still. But I mean, I understand people who like the loot progression and stuff, how they still grind it. But I mean, the way they sold it and the way, I mean, Bethesda has a bad record recently of overselling things because they had that great run where they had Wolfenstein rebooted and they came out with Fallout and they just had like banger after banger for a short. They had
not remade.
What's that shooter game?
Relaunched Doom.
Doom, yeah, what amazing! Yeah. That was amazing when they did that. Yeah. It's like they could do no wrong, and then all of a sudden they started doing kind of like what happened to CD Projekt Red. They overshot.
Did you ever see the Doom movie?
I saw parts of it. I've seen parts of it. Yeah, it's fucking like filmed in a warehouse.
Yeah, it was awful.
Smoke machine.
The best part was at the end when they went into like the first person mode, and it's like you're playing the game, and that's pretty much it.
That's how Hollywood thought they should present video games for a long time. But then a funny thing happens: the average video game user became 40, which is the deal now. It's like people who play games are older. I mean, it's like everyone plays something now. It seems like even your grandma has something going on the cell phone sometimes. So but then there's like Tetris the show now. I mean, I remember I didn't see the Apple TV movie, but people said that was really good too. But I guess the trailer made it
like super suspenseful, like it was like a spy thriller or some shit.
Yeah, I know. What are we talking about? So let's look up this movie, this show. Follow American TV series. Let's talk about the cast.
Okay, let's go and do that.
I think Ella Purnell, the main
character,
the heroine. We call her the heroine, the hero.
The heroine, yes.
She's really good, man. She's really fantastic. Entertaining, funny.
Yeah.
But it's like she hit the right notes. She was, she played the character right.
Her facial reactions for everything were amazing. Yeah.
Like when she was in shock in the final episode for a good 25 minutes, she's like,
I thought she was fantastic. I loved her character.
British actress. I looked her up a little bit. She was on a Netflix show. I think she was on. I don't remember the name of it. We can find out though for sure. But I hadn't. Oh God. Ella Purnell. Never Let Me Go. Intruders. Maleficent. She was in Maleficent. Oh, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. She was in Churchill. She was in Army of the Dead. So she's
the main. I think it's the main character for that show Arcane on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The voice. I think she's I think that's the main character.
And then Aaron Moten, who played the Maximus character, Titus, who becomes Maximus. And that was a really funny story arc, right? You had Michael Rappaport playing his knight initially. Yeah. And he's, being really mean. And what happens when you're mean to people in your support network is that they cook you when they have the opportunity. And that's what happened. And I don't know. Are we worried about spoilers for this episode? It's been 6 months.
It's been 6 months. Yeah. It is what it is.
We're spoiling everything today. I think it was a very funny way to introduce the Brotherhood. I liked how they went through all the factions. They didn't really deal with the synthetic factions. Maybe they're holding that for the next season or something.
Yeah, probably. I mean, with what they were talking about and everything they went through, it was a lot happening at one time, especially with everyone going to war over this
cold
fusion. The cold fusion, yeah. So I think adding synthetics would have been a little bit too much.
Yeah, because there's been too much information. But I like how the Brotherhood essentially is the militarized faction in this world, and their job is to reclaim technology and hoard it in the hopes that the bad guys don't get it. But in so doing, they, of course, become kind of the bad guys, but not really. Yeah. At the end, it turned out
morally gray, kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, the institutionalists were the bad guys, right? Because it turns out that scientists, which was kind of like a interesting plot point. It was a little heavy to like, oh, we just nuked the world ourselves so we can have the vault. And then don't know. Do you think that they would really do something like that? That was tough.
As far as I remember, that was always like something that was kind of like not known about who dropped the nukes.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the show, it's I don't know how canon it is to the games, but as far as like if they're going to work it into the games, but as far as just the TV show,
have to.
The corporations were the ones that dropped the nukes, which
is
the
people who make the vaults
insane,
essentially, and they were experimenting on the people, right? And so they said, okay, you can do whatever you want to the people. They're all going around in a circle. What if we killed the parents and raised the kids to fight one another? And they had used to the mutations and stuff.
Yeah, I'm so used to like these adaptations of these things that I love, like these comic books and these video games, messing things up. That when they first showed like, oh hey, these two vaults, they're right next to each other. I'm like, that was never a thing in the show. I don't know why they're doing this. Are all the vaults connected? And then you realize, oh, it was for a reason. Just like every other vault was specifically made for some reason. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I was still like nitpicky, and I was like, no, it wasn't like that. That's not how it's meant. And then you could finally see why it was like that, and you're like, oh my god, of course it was like that, because they're fucking experimenting on everybody.
They don't list the name of the character who uncovers it in the main thing. Oh, is it Moises Arias?
Yeah, the brother.
Yeah, he's really good.
He was great. He was a great character, yeah.
Because like you could see, like if you assume when the show starts who the good guys and who the bad guys are, I like the fact that they kept it gauzy, and like a lot of like, and we can get to Walton Goggins too, is obviously the star of the show.
And everyone, Walton Goggins.
I mean, we watched after we were watching Fallout here with Dr. Yasmin and Dark BMXers. We watched Vice Principals too, as well, because he's Walton Goggins.
Fantastic show.
Full score, Walton Goggins. But yeah, he's amazing in this. It was kind of interesting to have like a side plot point where he's like spying on his wife of the communists or something, and how they got to that area so quickly. It's like he had so many defensive walls up against all of it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, a couple conversations in the hallway, and now you want to pin this to your lapel and spy on your wife.
I mean, the show was only 8 episodes, but I felt like they introduced that super late into the season, and they wrapped it up real quick.
Yeah, it's like they had they filmed like the backstory and then like wove it in like through the 8 episodes. Yeah. And I guess they did a good job with that, and it shows a motivation why he knows what's really going on, or why he is resentful suspicious, and why he's so cynical and mad and everything. Because he is a bad guy. I mean, there's a lot of points in the story where he could make a choice not to fucking be cruel, but he does.
Yeah.
But it explains. But then he's like, so now he's on a mission to get revenge against the institutions that started the war, essentially. And then, so now I'm interested, like, it seems to hint at the next season being like New Vegas a little bit.
Yeah.
So are they going to all team up? Or I feel like they're going to like factionalize again at some point. Like,
they have to. I mean, there are tons of factions in New Vegas, so you're.
It can't be Wizard of Oz, right? You can't have like Toto and the Tin Man and Dorothy. Is this Wizard of Oz though? If you think about it, right? You have the Tin Man, the Wizard of Oz. You have the man. You have the Scarecrow. It's kind of like, but Walton Goggins shooting. The Scarecrow shoot people, not really. But in this version, it is. But they're on a fucking wizard. They're on a yellow brick road for sure. And I think all fantasies owe something to Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland to a certain extent. Because they're showing the new world through her eyes too.
There's a lot of twists and turns to the show too. A lot more than I thought there would be. Like the dad being the one that was that was part of the faction that dropped the bombs, which was crazy.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan, fantastic actor.
And then Chris Parnell was really good too as another
I will
idiot.
Never not love Chris Parnell in anything I see him in.
Yeah, he's great in fucking what's that cartoon?
Archer.
No, that one, yes, but also Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Okay, I don't.
He plays the ex-husband. Oh, he's really funny in that.
Is he? Okay, I know.
He plays like the simping husband. To the mother on that show. He's really funny in that.
Yeah, I fucking love Chris Parnell.
And he's fit too. God, Chris Parnell got in good shape. You got to fit into those those suits to be on Fallout. You can't just show up out of shape.
He's like a good butt of the joke straight man. He plays it straight, but obviously he's the butt of the joke. He's got the one eye, and every time I see him, he just lights up the room for me. I fucking love Chris Parnell.
He's like a classic sitcom dad trope where he's like, he's a good guy, but he's just kind of muddling through, and he needs the kids and the wife to save him constantly, which is funny.
He gives me the same happiness whenever I see him as another actor, which you rarely see, but when I do, I fucking love it. It's Jerry Minor.
Jerry Minor.
He was on SNL around the same time. Like he was the only other black dude on SNL with Tracy Morgan.
Why can't I remember him?
God, he's so funny.
There's no photo on his Wikipedia page. It's so crazy.
Doing Jerry Minor.
He's got a long career too.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Interesting. Is he working now? Is he anything new?
I haven't seen him in a while.
He was in Dr. Ken last time. Poor Dr. Ken didn't make it.
Is that the one with that guy? Whatever that guy's name is.
Dr. Ken, yeah. We know who we're talking about.
Yes.
The guy from the Zach Galifianakis movie.
Yes.
This is the episode where we try to remember movies and actors, and we just go, "Oh, remember that guy?"
And then we don't remember the names, and we just move on.
I want to look a little bit about production of the Fallout show, which was amazing. Obviously, they put up a ton of money.
Oh yeah,
for it. The CGI was great.
The look of it was fantastic. Like they got the look down perfectly. Set design, everything was amazing. I loved it. I thought everything felt true and authentic to that world.
Right.
Yeah. That looked great.
So they bought the franchise license in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it in 2 years, which is pretty amazing. So obviously they must have had a script floating around or something. But they could have made this so bad. They could have, and the thing is crazy because when you subscribe to Prime, you still get commercials now, which is crazy on some of these bigger shows. It's like they don't have enough revenue. Why am I getting commercials? I'm paying for Prime. It's crazy. Do I have like Prime Lite or something? I don't need to pay anymore. To Amazon. We'll just.
When I was looking, at least the first 3 episodes were directed by Jonathan Nolan, which I'm pretty sure.
Have you seen Jonathan Nolan?
Is Chris Nolan's brother?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan Nolan approached Bethesda with his idea of a Fallout television series, having been an avid player of the game. Okay. And then Westworld. He created Westworld, right?
Yeah, which I've seen the first season and it was fine.
I wanted to like Westworld so much more, and I stuck with Westworld for like 2 seasons more than I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it was so lore and canon heavy in parts that it really distracted from the plot. But the special effects and the robots and shit were cool. I like to see how they built the new amusements, like the Shogun world and the cowboy world, and that was cool. But then once they got to the future, like the real world, I don't know. It just like they had the kid from Breaking Bad on it, and it was all right. It just I couldn't sink my teeth into it. This show also reminds me of the way they use the power suit CGI. Reminds me of what they were doing on Battlestar Galactica when that show came out. I don't know if you've ever seen Battlestar Galactica.
I know what it is. I've never seen it though.
It's a great show. If you like this show, I think a lot of people would really like that because it's lore and canon, but it's done in a smart way, in an innovative way that you don't see coming. They had a spin-off of that called, I think it was about it's like the prequel to Battlestar Galactica. I think it was called, what the fuck was it called? I can't remember. I'll look it up later.
This is also where we
but it was
guess
pretty
shows.
Good. Check out Battlestar Galactica.
It had a huge cult following.
It's really good
when it was on back then.
I think
with
it
Edward
holds
James
up too.
Olmos.
It's kind of like a naval situation because the thing in Battlestar Galactica is you can't use internet sort of technology because the Cylons will just be in it because it's basically their AI. And so they have to use like all analog systems to fight them all the time. So it's kind of like submarine warfare in some parts. It's really good, man. And then it's like there's all kinds of like plot twists, and like some of the Cylons are like some of the crew are Cylons, and they don't know who's who because they can look like a regular human. You can't tell them apart. So it creates all this fucking craziness for a good 3 or 4 seasons. It's really good. Enjoyed that a lot. But it reminded me of the way they animated the Cylon armor was the same way that they kind of did the obviously it looks a lot better nowadays, but it's amazing what they can do with CGI. It makes the possibility to make these huge shows, these new worlds possible in only 2 years, because imagine even 10 years ago it would have taken forever to get the assets and do all this right.
While we're talking about the power armor, I just want to bring up the character Maximus. I was hoping and begging that a death claw or a mini nuke would have found him and killed him, because I hated that character.
He's kind of a fucking asshole, isn't he? He hurts his friend.
He throws everyone under the fucking bus.
He's traumatized though, right? Because he saw his whole family died and he had to hide in a refrigerator.
That's true.
But you still don't wound your buddy.
Yeah.
And they bail him out for it because I guess they need him because he gets shit done.
It's like he's not good at anything either. Like anytime he gets to a situation where he can prove himself, he just fails miserably every time. So it's like no redeeming qualities to him.
Into the right thing. I thought it was so cool. I thought there was a lot of scary shit in this. When he was trapped in the power armor.
Yeah.
Like when his knight or his fucking squire, who's played by, was really funny too. He they get in a conflict with him. And Steps crushes his foot, and then he's traps him in the armor, and it's he could have just died buried alive in that armor. And then the heroine is so nice to this guy, and she's basically in love with him for no good reason.
Yeah,
just because he's someone different, I guess.
And he's just constantly lying to him or lying to her. Yeah,
I feel like in the next season that's gonna erupt. The fact that he was misleading. No, I feel like they're gonna break up. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna cause a schism because she's gonna find out that the depths of his depravity.
He was the only character. No, he was the only character that I hated throughout the entire show. There were a couple of characters that I didn't like instantly, and then by the end of the show, I was rooting for them like crazy. So the brother, I didn't like him. Right. He was a little creepy little guy, whatever.
Yeah, he was creepy.
But I loved him at the end of the show. He was fucking awesome. I rooted for him every chance he was on screen. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then the tall friend.
Right.
Yeah, I loved him. He was fucking great.
He ended up hooking up with the blonde.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where she's icing her. She's icing her vagina in that one scene. Do you remember that? Yeah. I mean, I guess she just had a baby, but I guess that's. I mean, it's interesting how they handle. I thought that Amazon was gonna hide sexuality and nudity and stuff from this, but they went right in and were honest about people who live in a fallout shelter. Yeah. She's trying to bang all the time. She's banging everybody. She's banging her cousin. They just have a different open idea about sexuality. It's not verboten like it is in modern society. It seems because they have to repopulate that it's not a big deal, which is a W.
The thing that blew me away when I first watched this episode 2 was this show was that first episode. That first episode was nuts.
Yeah, with the Raiders coming through right in the beginning.
To
that was cool.
The basic concept of of the vaults and what's going on and their plans and their missions and their goals and all this shit. It was just set everything up in 10-15 minutes, and then introduces this other vault that comes in, and then you if you've played the game and you have any type of knowledge of that universe,
right,
you quickly realize, oh, they're fucking Raiders,
Right.
So I'm watching the entire show with Flame, so she doesn't know who these people are. And I'm like, oh my god, they're fucking Raiders. And she's like, what's that? I go, just keep watching. And then you see how fucking crazy they are.
Yeah,
and then
I love
turns
that.
into this giant fight between Lucy and her husband.
Right.
After they have sex, and he's trying to fucking kill her, and it's just insane. And then everyone's dying inside the vault, and it just turns into this whole thing.
It was a great way to start the show because it
was fantastic.
Captured your attention. You got enough lore. You could figure out what's going on. I like that they had a 1950s world. It's like it's a modern. It's like if the 50s style never stopped.
Yeah,
like there was no 60s, and like they kept going all the way through the 80s. It feels like. So there's like some modern technology stuff, but it's definitely all 50s aesthetic and like sensibilities. Except for some reason, there's no racism in this reality. Right, because Walton Goggins is like intermarried, and it's all nobody's like mad about it or anything. So it's interesting. It's like they created a whole new timeline, right? It's like, not just a different world; it's a timeline.
It was like a semi-perfect utopia, but let's still drop the bombs. We solved racism.
I would have preferred if they like resolved that plot in a different way than like doing it on purpose. Just like it's so blatant. Like there should have been like a mistake, or they wanted to do it for the right reasons, but then they fucked up. It's just like, oh, we just did it on purpose, and that's just what we do now.
Yeah,
which is kind of, I mean, you know, but now they don't have to talk about that anymore. Now they can just focus on this world. Hopefully, this goes for many seasons.
I mean, not everything needs an answer. Like I would have been okay if they just were like, oh, the bombs dropped. Well, who dropped them? It doesn't matter. Like just
I'm
telling
curious.
A different story. You know,
I'm curious if Walking Dead ever resolved any of the reasons why that world was created, because I never saw the last season.
Don't look it up.
It's not good.
I don't know. Just don't.
Okay. So I lost track of that show like after the fourth season because it started to drag.
Oh yeah, that show fucking sucked after a while. Like
I think everyone agrees. Like it was started as a banger.
For a while.
I love the comic.
Yeah,
I read the comic before I saw the show.
Yeah, so I stopped the show and then but I'd already read the comic, so I read the comic up to a certain point. So I'm still like 30, 40 issues away from the end. So I don't know if they solved it in the comics or answered that. So I'm like, don't look it up. I'm still trying to read it.
No, it's still on my my watch list somewhere. Like I'm going to get to the last season. I'm just going to watch the last season, skip the 2 seasons before.
Yeah, no.
I like that show. I did like the hard. Yeah, it was so good. I love that they tried to they made it though, and that it was good for 3 seasons
at least.
For a while, the practical magic was amazing. They did all practical, very low CGI.
Yeah,
and it looked great, and the story was great. And then I don't know. I think it was the governor storyline was really good, and then they got to
the governor
Negan.
Story.
I think the Negan storyline was when people fell off when they killed Glenn. People were like, I'm out, because Glenn was so popular and beloved.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people took off at that point because they started just kind of doing factionalism for 3 or 4 seasons, and it's like, okay, we get it.
Oh yeah. So I watched. I think I stopped watching it after like a little bit after the Negan episodes. Like I think he killed Glenn, and then I stopped watching it. But it wasn't because of that. It's because I felt like it wasn't going anywhere. Because for me, I love the governor storyline. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great
in the comics. And
I love the comic.
I thought they ruined it in the show because they split it across like 2 seasons, and then it doesn't. He attacked the prison, and then he's like, I don't feel like attacking anymore, and he just took off, and it was like so bizarre the way they did everything.
It's like they like stretched it out too thin, and it's like, I don't know.
But the governor was awesome.
Yeah, it was great, and then I felt like Negan was too much like the governor, and like they needed to switch it up even crazier, but. I understand, because that's what would happen if some end of the world scenario, factionalism and base building, and I mean, that's kind of what happens, I guess. But I'll give it. I like Michonne. Everyone loved the Michonne. It was great.
There was kind of a lull in the comics too, like once you get past like the main or once they resolve the Negan part, there is
the Alexandria story arc.
There's a stretch in the comics where it's legit just going faction to faction to faction faction, and it's just like
we're not doing anything anymore. We're just like base building.
That's all it was. And
we're just playing dolls at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
And then they did something else, and that was pretty awesome. But yeah, I have to go back and finish it.
I was at a comic book store when we were hanging out with Dark BMXers. We were stopped by, and they have like spin-offs of like alternate universe Walking Dead now. It's like the main characters are like, oh, what if they're in the Aliens universe? What if they're doing that shit?
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that book right now.
I preferred. I still haven't finished it, but I preferred Invincible to Walking Dead.
I haven't read it.
Invincible.
Have you read Saga?
Amazing. No,
On Image. That's
but
good.
I have the first
Check it out. It's nice.
First 60 issues because I have like both omnibuses. I just haven't read it.
Yeah, you should read it because it's won like many Eisner Awards.
Yeah.
The Eisner Awards is like they give it to the best book of the year or whatever, and it's really good. It's interesting storyline and it's a good graph. It's beautifully illustrated.
The guy who wrote it, Brian K. Vaughan.
Right, I know.
He wrote one of my favorite graphic novels of all time, which was
is that the Y2K?
Y the Last Man?
Y the Last Man? Yeah.
Fuck!
I read that.
It ruined that show. The show was awful.
They had a show. What show? What network was that on?
FX.
And they fucked it, huh?
Oh, God.
What did they do in the show?
It was just bad. Like they changed a lot of things about it.
They were like a WB show.
They made it like it was like too. I mean, the storyline itself is like very dramatic, but they made it like too drama-ish.
Melodramatic.
I don't want to say it was like too politicized, but it was. But the book is kind of like that. But it was kind of like, oh, this is a political thriller, and it's like, no, it's not that. And it's not. There was so much about the characters around the main character more than the actual main character himself. And I was like, you're supposed to follow this dude and his monkey, the last two males in the world
over time.
You're supposed to follow them, and it's just about everyone else except for him.
They just front loaded all the fucking.
Yeah, it was awful.
First season should have been like very lonely, just him and like. I wish they had more of the suffering element that would happen in a wasteland on Fallout. Yeah, it's like you're not getting enough food. It's like you have to drink radiate. And like, I love that they have like healing items and stuff in this universe, but it does resolve everything very quickly. If the guy smashes his foot, he wouldn't be walking on that. He would be dead because you would go into shock if your fucking foot looked like that. But it's a show. It's fantasy. And, they give you a pill. It grows back, but then you're a ghoul. It's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of stuff growing back, we need to shout out a guy that I love.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, what's his name? I feel bad that I forgot his name.
What is going on with our memory today?
Oh, no.
Does JC keep us memory?
He's memory holding us. What's his fucking name? The guy from Lost. Oh, Michael Emerson.
Oh, yeah. He was great as the scientist
fantastic.
with the dog.
Yeah.
The dog's a good actor.
But he was only there for like 4 episodes, and they fucking killed him.
Yeah, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to do flashbacks like they did on Lost. Like, you can do whatever you want with actors nowadays. Cause you just call it a flashback, and you could have like a whole storyline. Maybe, maybe they didn't know if the show was going to succeed, and bring it back as a synthetic. And I'm sure next season there'll be so many great guest spots, because this is a great thing about a wasteland show. It's like you can just when you're wandering a giant map like this, you can run into anybody.
Oh yeah,
right. You can run into any character actor. I love the fucking
Fred Armisen.
Yeah, Fred Armisen was great, and then they had the snake oil salesman.
Oh,
he was hilarious.
Guy,
he was really great character.
He's a comedian. He's so funny.
Yeah, I've seen him a lot.
John Daly.
Yeah, John Daly. He was really funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like it's good. I hope they keep the show going for a long time, and they, it could go for a long time, because you could. This is a huge world that you could build and like have all kinds of interesting shit going on in it. At some point, it's going to get away from the games, because if it's going to continue, you can go more rapidly in a movie or a show about other elements that can occur. And that's what happened kind of with Game of Thrones, is like they kind of outran the books, and then people got annoyed because it wasn't like in the books anymore.
Oh yeah, he was still writing like the last book when they were filming like the last 2 seasons or something.
Yeah, and then he finally said, fuck it, we'll just put the story in the show.
Yeah.
Because he's writing it the whole time, but then I don't know, they didn't resolve it the right way. And fuck knows. But it's like, I feel like he liked that there was a show even more so than the books sometimes.
There is something that I heard about when I was watching the Fallout TV show, about how apparently they messed up the timeline as far as like when New Vegas takes place and what in the universe we're in now.
I I mean, that stuff doesn't annoy me. It's
I'm
just
okay
let
with.
them fucking tell the story.
Because unpopular opinion, I didn't like New Vegas.
Oh, really?
I didn't think New Vegas was a very good game.
Everyone's like, "Oh my god, New Vegas!
I know.
Not as good as New Vegas. Fallout 3 is okay, but fuck New Vegas."
New Vegas
and then it's
was fine. It was fine. It
wasn't.
It's not the best
what did they do different? It's just like different, more story arcs and more like variation. Like one of the things they did nice in Outer Worlds is that if you did make some different choices in certain sections, it did totally change what could happen.
Yeah.
Like if you take the workers' position in the factory, they have like a fish factory on one of the planets.
Oh, the cannery
or
whatever.
Yeah, the cannery strike. Like how you resolve that does affect the storyline, you know, and in different ways too, which is kind of cool. And I can't wait for the sequel. I think the sequel is going to be sick because now they've been working on it for a long. Yeah, and it's going to be Xbox exclusive, but I can get it on Steam now because I have this nice PC. But I'm going to play the fucking shit out of that.
Yeah. I remember playing the game, and it's one of the early missions. Is that there's a neighboring town that is siphoning off energy from the cannery.
Yeah.
And then
right.
And that's the mission. You have to go and tell them, hey, you know, stop doing that, but then return to these awful jobs that you have at the cannery, or hey, keep doing what you're doing, live your life, but let's take all the energy from the cannery, so all the people at the cannery are going to lose their jobs and people die. So you have to make that choice.
I think I went in there. I started and I went in and shot the head of the cannery just to see what would happen.
Or the cannery guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then and then it was just fucking crazy. And then you have to fight your way out of that town and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember there's the Elysium section, which is really cool too. That I fucked up that storyline at some point. And so you have to fight your way out of Elysium, and it's not super easy. It's some of those Fallout games can be super easy if you just use your bullet time system, your tactical aiming and stuff, and you get. But it was cool because I eventually had to sneak out of the subway, in the underground system that's connected to get the fuck out and to escape in the thing in my ship. It was cool. And I hope they get more dynamic like that, where shit goes crazy, and then the corporation sends bounty hunters after you in different systems.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's a good game, man. Especially if you get off that first planet and you start going to the different places and fucking around and seeing causing problems on purpose.
Yeah.
And seeing how they resolve. It's fun. And if you turn up the difficulty a little bit, so it's not so easy just to shoot everything real. If you could actually die, I liked it. That was fun.
Yeah, I just dropped it, but yeah, the
I could see how people can drop it in the first because it seems really Rails based, but it's less Rails based than you think. Surprising.
After that first planet, you do go into that little outpost, and then things kind of open up after that, and they give you tons of jobs and shit like that. There's a whole bunch of crap on that outpost.
Yeah, I want to play the DLC. Dark BMXers is here. Now, we invited Dark BMXers last night.
We did.
I said, Dark BMXers, we're going to do this show at 4 Pacific. Please join us if you want. And the reply I got was, tomorrow is a work day. So he said, okay, all right, I'm sorry, but that's
not
when
working.
It's available. And now it says, you didn't even invite me, shake my head. You know what I'm saying? It's I did literally invite you.
Dark, I did bring up how it fucks up the
12 hours
events,
notice.
the canon events, but I don't know how. Also, Dark loves New Vegas, and when I told him that I thought
New Vegas, it here.
When I told him I didn't like New Vegas, he was very upset with me.
He stopped talking to you?
For a little bit.
He might do that. He'll shut you out. I want to play. You know what I downloaded the other day, Dark BMXers? A little game called Starfield. That's gotten a lot of patches, and I'm going to go in there neutral, not with any expectations, and I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is. Have you played Starfield, Time?
A little bit of it. Right.
I mean, again, it's just like that loop, right? It's that grind loop, and it might be. I heard they patched they added a lot of stuff to it, so maybe
the new DLC patched a lot of it. Yeah,
and I got this super system now, so I can look at it at the best level. So we'll give it a shot. Yeah, I did watch I was in your 24-hour stream, Dark BMXers, for all of Starfield, but I was in and
for
out.
24 hours. That's crazy.
I was listening to it mostly.
What a fucking...
I didn't see you.
That's torture.
Why is it so bad? It looks fun. It's just shooting. Isn't it all the same shit though? At the end of the day, it's like you have the VAT system, you have upgrades, you have loot. It's like they're all going to be like that.
2 hours, and it was just a lot of talking and just very boring. And it was just go here, talk to this person, talk to this person, talk to this person. It was nothing. You didn't do anything.
I didn't like the way the starship controls were, like the combat system. It looked a little like, but maybe they fixed that. I don't know what they've added since then. It's been a good year now, or 2 years almost, a year and a half. I don't know. We're gonna get to it. If I ever stop playing FIFA, like, can I say one thing about FIFA? If you can listen to me,
say it, sister. Say it.
What they did, see, every week, I don't have the time to play weekend league. Okay, that's like 20 fucking games in 2 days. I don't have the time. So I used to play like the rival system, where you essentially have to win competitively 7 times during the week to get your rewards, to stay relevant, to get your card in flux, to get your fucking. Now they want 15 wins. 15 wins as opposed to 7.
That's
and you're
crazy.
Playing against animals. So you win half the time if you're lucky. So I played 30 fucking games in 2 days. You
used to go on live, right? This is what it was. Prag would start it up. He'd go live. And
this is my face the whole time.
Yeah, in a circle, in a little circle.
You.
And then he would go. He'd be live for 7-8 hours, and then he'd be like, "Hey, I got my 7 wins. Now I'm just fucking around or whatever it was." Now you have to do that twice, so that's your whole weekend is just getting 15 wins now. See,
and then there's other game modes that you have to do now too. There's Rush, which is like a 4-on-4. Which is fine, but then that's just another grind. I like, but at the same time, like that's the game though. Like the game is playing live against other people, so it's like, why am I complaining about playing the game? It's like, oh, I just want my rewards. But like, if you get your rewards and you don't earn it, then they don't mean anything to you, and you don't value them. So it's like, I understand what they're doing, but this is what they should do. They should be a small, a medium, and a low amount of games you have to win. Yeah. Like, say you have to win 4 and you get shitty rewards, and then 7 or 8 for medium, and then 15 if I want to go full enchilada, because now it's all or nothing. I'm surprised
they don't do that.
They want to they just want you logged in.
Yeah.
They want you on the app. They want you trading. They want you selling. It's like,
if MLB The Show releases a card and it's like, oh, you can get this card, but you have to. It's like, but a lot of it's like multiplayer. I'm like, I'm never getting this card.
You gotta grind.
I don't play multiplayer. So I don't care. I literally don't want this card.
And they're smart too, because listen. I only play 2 or 3 times a week. Like, I don't play every day because I just don't have the fucking time. But then I have to like do it all fucking good 5-6 hours on those periods. And this is what they're smart, because if you don't log in for a couple of days, they throw you a good card. Oh, you want to try this? Now you're going to get back in because now you can play with this fucking Antoine Griezmann card. You're fucking evil. I love it. I've been playing it for 15 years. I'm not going to stop. I listen to podcasts about it when I'm done.
Which is the best.
I do research. Yeah. That's what I like, though. I like the community. I like talking to other dudes about, like, oh, what do you think about this fucking Inaki Williams card? And it's like, oh, it's not worth 30,000 coins. It's like, it's just like a community.
There is such a treasure trove of YouTube videos and podcasts and all these things online that you can't that no one has time for. No one can sit there and just watch them all. So what do? You got to double up on them. So you play a game where you can literally turn your brain off and you listen to or you watch the show.
That's what I do. So I'm listening to Zwayback HD. I'm watching him play while I play. It's crazy.
I just have these things.
Yeah, because I need to learn. I'm like, oh, he's got tips. Oh, do this tactic. Do this. Try this guy. It's like, I love that shit. It's just like, it's so engrossing. And it's like, people say, well, how can you play the same game year after year? Because it's different every year. It's different. The players change. The systems change. The controls change a little bit every time. And it's like, they keep it. It's like golf. They keep it interesting.
I'm waiting for I mean, they're never going to do it, but I'm waiting for a company that has like a sports game, like a baseball or a football or whatever, that has the balls to just release one game and then go, hey, guess what? For the next 3 or 4 years, we're not releasing another game. It's just like update
Well, that's
patches,
what they're doing. That's what UEFA, like FIFA is making their own version of, because basically EA was buying the license for like $100 million every year. And then they said, EA said, "Fuck it, we'll just pay the clubs and the players directly. We don't need like the World Cup logo. We can just like make some shit up." And like, you know, they're making $1 billion
they still
a
release
year
like
of
a
it.
full $70 package every year.
Oh yeah, and then but they still have all the licenses. So they got rid of the FIFA license, and they still have all the teams and the players. So you really can't tell the difference. And so, but now FIFA's trying to make their own version, and then 2K's making a Lego soccer, which might be interesting. 2K's making a soccer game. I don't. 2K is too crazy. NBA 2K is really
that's awful.
Like you can play FIFA without spending extra money, but I don't think you can NBA 2K anymore. You have to spend the money. Because you can't even grind your way out of it. And that's crazy. It's a good game, though, too. I like that game. NBA 2K is really fun. I got MLB The Show is free PS Plus. We can play some of that.
It was, yeah.
I mean, I just like sports games. I always have. This is why this is a sports game podcast. Yeah, and that's why we have this show. It's a FIFA podcast. What have you been playing recently? Do you have any games that are cooking you? I got the Last of Us remake, the first one on PS5 now too, so I can play that.
There's only so many times I can play that game.
I played it when it came out on PS3. It's been a long time. I want to see what they did with the revisualization.
I played the first time it came out, and then I played the remastered edition, and then I haven't played it again.
You know what they fucked up? They didn't put the online mode. The online mode was the coolest part about that game.
The factions,
the PvP. Yeah. And they were supposed to come out with that, and they never did. And then they just started remaking the same fucking games over and over. It's like, what are you guys doing over there? Naughty Dog has to come out with a banger. Like, this is what I would love to see from Naughty Dog. No trailer, no announcement, just drop. Like, you know, when like Radiohead drops an album, there's no fucking warning. It's just like, oh, this album's out now. Hold this, bitch. That's what I would love to see a game studio do. Like, make a massive AAA game without and just like drop it on the world. People would go nuts if it was really good and they knew they had a banger. Like, what are they even working on right now? Does anybody know? I have no idea. Probably nobody knows. That would be sick. Imagine a Last of Us open world game like fucking Rockstar.
I don't want any more Last of Us. I'm done.
You're done with it?
I'm done. It didn't need
a
sequel.
Cool world though. Yeah, but I just love. I love the wasteland motif. I love Armageddon. I love Mad Max shit. I love Fallout stuff. I just like that environment.
Yeah,
because you could do anything.
It's such a cool like setting in general. Yeah,
it's a cool setting, and I just like. I wish they were going to make a sequel to the motorcycle. There's a PS exclusive. It was like a motorcycle based Days Gone. They were going to make a sequel of that, and they never did. That's another game I want to play that I haven't ever gotten around to.
I haven't got around to that one either. Yeah.
So many games.
I think it sold pretty well on PC when they
did, and it's like, and they're like, oh, we still didn't make enough money to have a sequel, and they're like, oh, we made $80 million, and I'm like, no wonder Sony. If everything has to do what Horizon Zero Dawn did, you're never going to make anything again. And you know what? Guess what? Since Ghost of Tsushima and Horizon Zero Dawn, they haven't made any fucking original IP bangers. So it's like, what's going on with that? Where are all the IPs?
If they're gonna remake a game, I want them to remake, it's Sucker Punch, but Infamous, because I love the Infamous series.
Have you ever played Ghost of Tsushima?
No, I played the first hour of it. I still haven't finished it. Yeah, but it. Like,
I mean, if you love Sucker Punch, man, that's full on Sucker Punch. I love the way that game feels in my hands. The horseplay, horseplay.
Whoa,
horse riding mechanics is great because it's like you can go from all through the island and the wind and like it's just beautiful game.
The way the wind
platinum that game
is like your navigation. That's crazy.
Yeah. I love that, and still haven't finished the DLC because it's like a game I like so much. I don't want to be done with it. You know how like sometimes you like something, you don't want to watch the end of it because then you know it's over. That's going to be a massive sequel too. So we're just waiting on sequels from Sony. I haven't played the Spider-Man game, so maybe I have to fucking play the Miles Morales.
The first Spider-Man game was fantastic.
The new one should be good, right?
I don't know. It has Miles Morales in it. I don't.
You don't fuck with Miles Morales?
He is such a whiny bitch in the game. God damn it.
Yeah, it's not my Peter.
It's not my Peter Parker.
I played Mexers. We are talking about Fallout. Don't report us to JC. JC doesn't have to see this. We did talk about Fallout, but we also have to talk about other things. It's a full ass show. It's like we talked about how much we love Walton Goggins and what's the name of this? The other actress, whatever her name is, Ella Purnell.
Yeah.
Is she related to Chris Purnell?
I think it's Parnell.
Wasn't there Parnell. But wasn't there another Parnell? Like
I don't know.
One of the other actresses, like when they were was that his real daughter in that movie? I don't know. In that show, I feel like it might have been.
Another good. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but another good Walton Goggins show is The Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, I love that show.
The show's fucking great.
I'll watch any of those shows.
I watch anything.
The baseball one.
Oh, it's so good.
Eastbound and Down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, people have to see that.
That's a good one.
Vice Principals is great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched the first season of Vice Principals and I never finished it, and then I rewatched it again and then watched the second season. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. Don't give that bitch gin. She get her drunk on purpose, and she just fucking loses her mind. She's like crawling on the car.
That's such a good on the car,
show.
Something like that.
Yeah, she pisses on the car. I think the second season is not as good, but there's some good parts in it. But definitely the first season was fire.
Yeah,
Eastbound and Down is great too. Mm-hmm. That's got 3 or 4 seasons, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. What do you want to talk? What do you want to give this show? Do you want to rate this show?
I'm trying to think of anything else we can talk about concerning this. Oh, you know what? Another good thing, which this is very, very iconic in the video games, and I thought it was pretty well represented here in the show. The music, the Fallout is a huge. The Fallout music is a huge part of the game. You have the radio stations. You got the
50s music.
Yeah, like the country music, kind of like the twang and stuff like that. It was. They had fantastic music in the show. And they had a couple of songs that we heard in the games, so it was pretty awesome. So
when you play Fallout, do you listen to the music, or do you turn the Pip-Boy section, the radio off?
I listen to music for a while, and then eventually turn it off. Probably.
And then it starts to bug.
Yeah,
doesn't it bug a little bit after a while? Mm-hmm. But then it is nice too. Sometimes it's like I have weird.
I do the same thing in Fallout series as I do in the GTA. I find the talk radio station, and I just have that on the entire time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what is it in Fallout 3 is like 3 Dog or something like that, whatever his name is.
Yeah. That's a perfect. I mean, those grind games are perfect podcast stuff too, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like
those two, yeah.
Once you get into the 15th hour of one of those games, you know what you're doing. You're going to clear this dungeon. You're going to get the loot. You're going to find the 2 switches that you have to hit. You're going to resolve the faction. And it's a perfect evening. It's a nice little 4-hour block. That's why I'm looking forward to playing Starfield, actually. Because it's especially when it's here's the main quest. Go find this person. And then for the next 12 hours, you are doing the most complete random things, and you don't have to pay attention. So that's when you throw your podcast on, because you don't need to know the dialogue. You don't need to know, whatever. You just do random shit. You don't need to put fucking music on.
And then you stumble upon
the
next part of the main quest, and you're like, oh, fuck. Okay, I forgot.
That's great, though. I love that you can do that. I have to get back into Dragon's Dogma 2, which is a game I really enjoy, but I was waiting for a bigger DLC. I didn't finish it because it's a game I want to take my time with, because it's so. I love all the little secrets around every nook and cranny. When they have that has a deep sell, I recommend people pick that one up too, because it's really good.
I'm waiting for that to get a little bit lower, probably $20, $30.
It's still probably full price. You know how Capcom is. Maybe at Christmas they'll $35, $40. Cook it out for $20.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It all depends on how much you how much you need an open world scratch, because it's a good. It's you can really have a nice time as long as you don't I recommend don't watch too many videos. Don't watch too enjoy the secrets. Yeah. Enjoy all the fucking. Don't look up everything. Try to figure out how to. There was that one boss I tried to kill in that cave system. I had to go back there a couple times, 4 or 5 times to get finally overpowered enough to do it. But it's fun, man. I like that. I'm looking. It's I want to see more good games come out. It seems like COVID really derailed all the big games recently. You know, it's like they're just coming out with the fucking bigger ones.
Yeah, how much longer are we gonna use that excuse? It's been 4 years.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Like, I mean, game development does take like 7-8 years, so I guess.
I mean, we're looking for the new Witcher games coming soon, right? Skyrim's still 2 years away.
Of The Witcher. Dark loves
I just hope it's terrible, just so Darky makes me depressed.
Just to piss him off.
They fucked up Cyberpunk. I want to see Geralt floating off into the fucking space when he enters a castle, and like people walk an arm, like.
Oh yeah, Dark brings it up. Red Dead 1 is officially coming to PC. Red Dead Redemption was a fantastic game. Did you not like that game?
Are they remaking? I do love it, but it's like, are they?
It's probably a fucking port. It's probably there's no.
It's just a port, and it's gonna suck because you know what they do with those ports. Remember the GTA Legacy Edition, and it's just shit. It's like poor guys like Dead Man Payne who live Rockstar 24/7. It's like, where's the Max Payne sequel? Oh, that's right, I canceled it. It's never gonna happen. Lance from Saints.
Fuck you, Lance.
Max Payne fucking canceled.
Yeah.
It's like, what are these guys doing? I feel like they're waiting for PS5 Plus to come out, or whatever the fuck it's called.
The Pro, yeah.
Let's talk about the Pro for a second.
Don't get me started on the Pro.
I mean, they're charging $700 for essentially a machine that does 4K 60 FPS. Or unlocked.
I don't know, because
what am I getting for this extra $700? What am I getting?
I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
What the fuck are we doing here?
$700. You know, it better consistently hit 4K whatever. You know, like 1440p, 4K whatever. But it better consistently hit 60 frames. I don't think it's going to do it.
I need it to fucking be unlocked. I want it to hit fucking 90 if it can, like a PC does.
I don't think it's going to hit 60 frames consistently.
But for $700, what are they doing? Because basically the thing that's great about a PS5 is the hard drives, right? Solid state hard drives, no loading screens. Like, you can go from Manhattan end to end in Spider-Man without any loading screens. That's the big revolution. And then, 1080, 60 FPS, essentially. You know, you could have the visual mode, but nobody does that. Everyone wants performance. You always want FPS, right? Yeah. And so all they're doing now is like, okay, we can get you ray tracing and 60 FPS. Well, a lot of games already do that. I remember when Metro Exodus launched, that was an unlocked FPS, ray tracing built in. Another example is Ghost of Tsushima, who launched at 1080 60 FPS base model, and so now when you play that game, you get 4K 60 FPS on a PS5, not right out the box without any enhancements. This is the problem, because there's so many PS5s and PS4s in the system. They always have to make the hardware, they have to make the software dumbed down to the fucking lowest common hardware. So you're still getting PS4 games for these systems with just like upscale graphics, and that's fucking gotta stop.
At what point are we just going to leave PS4 behind? You know, it's just soon. I understand there's a huge install base, and it was so hard to get PS5s, but they're out there now. You can get a PS5 anytime you want, which is crazy because PS5s are still full price. That's crazy. And like
any studio, I know, and then any studio that wants to make a bigger game that pushes hardware can't, because they always want to like have ability to port it to PS5 and Xbox One. So it's like you're always like held back.
Yeah.
And you can do proprietary stuff, like you can make a God of War and a Spider-Man as long as like you design it to the hardware. Like, you know, it's optimized for PS5. That's why those games were so banging. I think Horizon Zero Dawn is a great game.
The first one, have you played that one? Game. Oh yeah, I love that game.
The second one, have you played the second one?
I played the second one now.
It's really good, man. Yeah. And I have to get back into that one too. But I love that shit. I love that it's a whole different world. The dinosaurs are amazing. Everything looks great. You can see every little fucking gear, tube. And I love archery in video games. That's just a goated mechanic and like dodge rolling. I got to get back into that game, man.
The archery in video games and the dodging it's always the same fucking animation, the same mechanic, but it's so satisfying every fucking time.
It's so satisfying.
You just slide, you have your spear back. Yeah,
it just feels good to move like that. I agree, consoles hold us back, but here's the other reason I have this console to play FIFA, because you can't play on PC because all of the hackers, like, you'll go into a game on PC and they'll just change the uniform color to match yours or they'll just erase all of your players, or they'll just flip the score on you. It's like they've been fighting this for 4 years. I would love to switch all the way to PC, but it's like there's still some games where they just can't do it because people are too nasty and they cheat too much. Yeah, it is a security problem with EA, but I'm committed to the EA FC experience, Dark BMXers.
Yeah, I buy every system pretty much when it comes out.
Are you gonna buy a PS5 Pro though? No shot, bro.
If I do, I'm gonna trade in my PS5, which I usually don't. I usually keep the systems.
Ooh. But what are they gonna give you for that? 200? And then you're still down
give
5.
Me half, 350. That's still 350. That's not bad.
I need to see something that it does that my PS5 can't do.
There's videos where it shows how it renders faster. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
My eyes can detect. And, it's like this is the other thing about FPS. Is like at some point it's like your dog. You're not a. You can't. It's like you can only hear certain things. You can only see certain things. You have human limitations.
If I buy one, it's gonna have to be on the visual proof that it is consistently getting 60 frames no matter what.
I know what they should do though. They should have waited until the new GTA comes out and bundled it. Because that's going to sell. Because imagine if they're going to do it the way they're showing in the trailer, you're going to need the kind of heft of a PS5 Pro to like do all that rendering and like all those. I can't believe it's going to be as good as the trailer, though. I mean, they're showing some crazy scenes with I mean, all the NPCs are doing different things and it makes sense. And like, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. Fully indestructible environments. Do you think they're going to have that?
Probably not. No, that's probably too much.
No shot.
Yeah.
That would be cool, though, if you could, like, wreck a part of the city and they have to rebuild it and stuff. I mean...
Dark says you can easily tell the difference with higher FPS. Dark, I bet you couldn't tell the difference between 45 and 60 frames. I bet you couldn't. You're a liar.
You just feel the smoothness. It's like, I would love a FIFA game. There's no reason why FIFA can't be 120 FPS.
You can't, Dark. 100% you can't. You literally can't.
I dream about frames per second. That I don't care about. I mean, at some point, the 4K, like half the time, I turn HDR down or off because it blows your fucking eyes out because it's basically a brightness situation. It's like, what are we doing out here?
Yeah,
it's been a long. It's like at this point, we're pushing 2030. I want to see the AI starting to like fucking render games on command. Like maybe I get home from work and I want a certain RPG in a Bethesda style, but I want it to make it my vision of a world or whatever. If you could just build shit like that and just instantaneously build it for you, that's what it's going to be in before we know it. Because think of what all the Ubisoft shit that they do. It's just fucking shovelware at this point. I mean, AI can definitely do a Ubisoft game, I feel like.
I mean, once AI becomes more accessible as far as like in the game development, advanced like AI, unless it's already there, it could be. The games that I love, like the roguelikes and the roguelites, where like everything's like procedurally generated. That's gonna go crazy.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Like when Dead Cells finally gets that technology,
that's gonna be insane.
What a great game!
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, game. Because then you can just like make a Fallout version, or you can make anything you can imagine. If you could just like type it in just like you do with image creation. You can
probably just do like
whatever style you want.
Crazy. Yeah.
And then it just fucking does it for you. And then you have like a whole game just designed for you. That's gonna go nuts. And that's probably what I would see PS6 launch with AI built in. Oh
yeah.
It won't.
I'm telling you right now, when PS6 launches, Bloodborne remake is gonna be launched right. Is that what they're gonna do?
What about Bloodborne 2?
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
They're going to have to launch it with something crazy. When is it supposed to come out? In Christmas?
Which one?
PS Pro? 5 Pro?
Oh, I think November.
Oh, God. They're going to have some launch with it.
I'm talking about PS6, though.
So PS6?
In 3 years, whenever
that's got to be 3 years away. That, to me, is a Skyrim.
Bloodborne Remaster is 100% going to be on there. 100%.
Imagine Skyrim, too. Bloodborne. It's like... I want a sequel. Shit, they could have already released a PC version. Like, they have the assets. I don't know what they're doing. They have a big plan for Bloodborne, I feel like.
I hope so.
That game's very tactical for them. They, like, withhold that. Like that's not even a PS Plus. Is it a PS Plus game? I guess it is.
It was. I don't know if they took it off, but it was. That's where I played it, at least. So,
what do you think about this show?
Let's,
what do you want to
rate
review?
The show, and then I have one question for you after that.
Okay.
So for me, on a scale of 0 to 100, I would give the show probably like an 86.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
right there, 85.
It's great.
It's really entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have like a ton of problems with it, except I mean the biggest problem I have is fucking Maximus. I hated him, but aside from that, I mean everything was good. It was enjoyable. I thought it had great pacing. I didn't think there was really any filler to it.
Yeah, I liked it wasn't 12 episodes.
Yeah,
it was like 8, tight 8.
I could have used maybe 1 or 2 more, but I think I'm fine with 8.
No, it was good because it's like it was a nice meal and it gets you ready for the next season.
Mm-hmm. The little Easter eggs and like the nods to the Fallout universe I thought were really cool. I thought maybe they kind of ham-fisted some of them in there, like making Walton Goggins' character the Vault Boy. I thought that was a little too
right
on the nose.
Pip-Boy.
Yeah, Pip-Boy. Yeah, but it was fine.
No, it was really good, man. It's like they could really fuck this up royally, and they did a great version of it. And now it's like I bet they're gonna like buy Starfield and try to make a production out of that too. I mean, it might be a better TV show than a game, even because that just opens up a whole world of like, space exploration stuff. And they'll probably try to make a Skyrim game or show. I guarantee that.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be terrible.
Yeah,
they're gonna fuck that up somehow. I mean, it's so easy to screw up fantasy stuff, especially canon stuff. Like people are really upset about the Rings of Power, which the second season I've finished recently is really good, actually, compared to the first. And that's actually a show that people should check out because they did some really good things, especially the second half of the second season. But Amazon's doing better because they used to have nothing but shit shows.
Yeah.
Doing better.
Dark PS6 is going to come out like in 3 years. It's not going to be 10 years. That's crazy. And then
it was good, Dark BMX. So you haven't seen it, and you know what? Tolkien's legacy is up. Tolkien's not here to say whether he likes it or not, and you don't speak on behalf of Tolkien.
That's true. You're not a Tolkien representative.
I'm sure his family is involved in the production, right? Didn't his son finish the Silmarillion? Essentially, this is the problem. This is a retelling of the Silmarillion, which is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings, which is about how the Rings of Power were developed by Sauron, and there's a bad guy named Ardor, and there's like interfactional Auroch battles, and like the elves are here, but Silmarillion is written like an encyclopedia article. It's not written as a narrative, and this is like a narrative version of it, and they did a nice job. It's just more Tolkien-esque stuff. You didn't see the show, Dark. This is the problem. You didn't see the show. So it's like you can review the show poorly once you see it.
Yeah, did you watch it, Dark? Did you watch the show? Is he one of those guys that hates on things without experiencing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't give it a chance.
So
I'll tell you what, it's better than The Hobbit. The Hobbit is canon, and the movie trilogy was an L as far as I'm concerned. The Fellowship of the Rings trilogy was sick. That was amazing. Just to see that whole world created as someone who loved the books for so long and nobody really did it right. Just to see those 3 movies was amazing. But The Hobbit was like too stretched out, and that's when they started like taking liberties with Tolkien, is in the Hobbit movies. So cut out half of it, and it's like, this is the thing. The Hobbit should just be a book. I don't think they should have made that into a movie series. It's a perfect little book. It's just one book. It's a good introduction to the whole world, and it's easy to understand. It's not a bunch of lore and canon it's just a good story. So I recommend people read The Hobbit and watch Fellowship of the Rings, which is sick, which is amazing. And Enemy Charlie, if you want to come on the show and talk about it, you know where to call me. You know where to find me.
She has a PhD.
Is she watching this?
She's watching it right now.
I know she does. I want her to come on and teach us things, but she won't.
She won't.
And then Lance won't help us book guests. It's like, where are all our guests recently? I don't know. Oh, I know. We're having ABBA Box on.
That's right. This Saturday. Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle. Remind me to send the explainer about Riverside to him.
Okay.
Before Saturday.
Just send him the link. But yeah.
So, I mean, you don't have to download anything, right? It's just a link.
It's just a link. That's it. Yeah. He doesn't have to do anything else. So you would recommend this show, right?
That. Absolutely. Okay. 86. I've been recommending it. I mean, yeah, it's funny. It's a funny show too, which is smart. Because if they played it too serious, it probably wouldn't have worked. But there's a lot of every episode has a lot of satire in it, which makes it accessible.
Okay, so where does this rank on other video game adaptations for you that you enjoyed?
I mean, let's talk about them. The most recent ones were The Last of Us.
Yeah.
This one. I mean, what else is out there? Matt. I mean, what's a big one?
You made the Super Mario movie that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah. BioShock is coming out, right? They're making a BioShock show, aren't they?
I feel like that's going to be bad.
I mean, who knows at this point? The Last of Us was good. I felt that stuck too close to the canon. Because basically, if you had played the video game of The Last of Us, it was a scene-for-scene recreation of the video game. I wanted more. I mean, there was divergence and stuff, but it's like a lot of the plot lines just married to the game. The same... So I know the story. I'd like to see more stuff in that universe. It was a good show, though. I think people like it a lot for good reason. It was made well. It's quality. It's not poorly acted. I mean, there were problems with some of the story, but I mean, you can't say it's a bad show. It's like if you never played the game, you're probably going to enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, if I never played the game and didn't know the characters, I think it was
definitely for housewives who don't play video games.
Yeah.
So but they can have some fun.
I would rank Fallout higher than Last of Us, though, for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. What's another one though? What are some other? It's hard to.
I can think of that has
think of anyone that have been really good recently.
Did you see the Mario
this was
movie?
Great. The one with Chris what's his face? I haven't seen it.
Pines. Whatever.
Was it bad?
No, it was good. I liked it.
I saw the Mario cartoon that they made. Oh, no, it wasn't a Mario cartoon. That was the funky Donkey Kong homage. Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is essentially...
It was fine. It was a fine movie.
All right. I don't see the Mario movie. I don't know.
I haven't seen the Borderlands movie yet.
Oh, that looks like a nightmare. Trash. I mean, it's like most of the time they make a movie, it's like the Mortal Kombat movies. It's just fucking kind of something to do with it, but not really. What about it's just like a licensing deal.
Did you see the Uncharted movie?
No. I heard it was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either.
Did you play those games?
Oh, yeah. I love it. I played all of them. I love them.
Yeah, those are cool. Yeah, I played the first. I haven't played the new one all the way through.
I like the Resident Evil movies. The ones
I do too.
I thought they were fun.
I like it.
They're not
campy.
It has nothing to do with the
Resident Evil.
Show,
but that's Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I heard the show that they made was terrible.
That's
People
were
really mad about the show. I haven't seen it, but I like that they do those CGI cartoon movies too for Resident Evil, which are great. If you catch those on Netflix, that's the way to enjoy that. I'm a sucker for Resident Evil World and Capcom shit for whatever reason. I overlook all the, I can't wait for the new Resident Evil to come out. That's probably coming out pretty soon too.
The game?
I think they're making a Veronica X mini game.
Shit. Oh yeah, they're making.
And then they're coming out with a full ass is it 9 that they're on?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, and I'm not gonna. This is the mistake I made with The Village. I watched too much trailer. I watched too much gameplay, and then it was spoiled. So it's like this time I'm just not gonna watch anything. I'm not gonna read about the plot. I just want to go in there totally unknown, because that's how you have to play those games. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's like Resident Evil 7 doesn't work with the house if you know what's going on, and so I'm gonna go in blind.
Special shout out to Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That was a pretty good movie. First one.
Sonic the Hedgehog hit over its weight. I heard it was better than it should have been. Which is what's been happening lately. It's like they've kind of figured it out. I hope.
Yeah, I've never been a huge Resident Evil fan. I'm just not a fan of horror movies or games or whatever. So like I played the first one and the second. I think I played the first three, and after that I kind of like dabbled in certain ones. Like
Mm-hmm.
Code Veronica, I like that. I like that one, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
like my favorite games. They're just like they're fine. Um, but
Have you
then
played 5?
no, I don't think I played 5.
That would be a fun co-op stream because that's 100% co-op game.
Is that one? Is it that one or 6? That's a co-op one.
5 is 100% co-op.
Is
You
it?
can play that whole game all the way through. It's fun. It's like Resident Evil 4 in the game mechanics. That's the one that they should remake too.
Oh,
That would
yeah,
be sick.
yeah. That one is co-op. Yeah, that's right. Which one's 6?
That's a fun game to stream.
Yeah.
I never played 5 all the way through
played 5
either, so I'd be interested in that.
But yeah, I played like randomly one day. I was like, oh, well, let me play Resident Evil 7 because I had it.
Yeah,
Biohazard, and that game blew me away.
yeah.
That game was fantastic. And then I never played any of the DLC, but whatever. But like the main story, the main game was fantastic. I loved the characters, loved everything.
Photorealistic game engine too. Re-engine.
Mm-hmm.
Spatial sound, right?
Yeah, what is it? It's just called the RE engine, right? I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, but they also have like 3D audio if you have headphones, like
the Dolby audio. Yeah,
they rebuilt all their assets to make new games, and it really paid off for Capcom. They had a resurgence,
and then
Monster Hunter,
and then Village came out, and I fucking loved Village. I thought that game was amazing, also. And it's it's just a continuation of that one. I love those two games. So the third one, I don't know if they're going to continue on with the family or what they're doing in that, and they're going to make a trilogy or whatever. But I'm super excited for what they're doing next, if it's that same thing. But yeah, the RE engine is so fucking good. It
is.
I'm glad
Dragon's Dogma's in that engine too.
Yeah, the Monster Hunter game, Dragon's Dogma. Like, there's so many games that they've used it on, and it's just fantastic. Like it works. Everything. It's fantastic. I love that fucking engine. It's so good.
I'll try any game made in that engine because it's so good.
Yeah.
Because it feels good and the graphics are amazing and it's like 60 FPS every time.
Yeah, it's solid.
I believe.
Yeah.
Like that Resident Evil 2 remake was phenomenal. And Resident Evil 4 remake is great. I kind of have a soft spot for the original Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
But they're both great mechanical games as far as just the way they feel.
I think the new Monster Hunter game is going to be the RE engine. I hope it is.
That comes out pretty soon, right?
No, when does it come? Oh, February. I think it comes in February, yeah.
Okay.
You make sure you get
and
that.
And then I feel like in the spring,
I'm going to play it.
Resident Evil.
I know SV is going to play it, so we can get a whole fucking...
Oh, yeah, we should get a
hunters.
whole crew together.
Yeah.
Listen, I fuck with Capcom.
Yeah.
I'll always fuck with Capcom. Even, I don't really play Street Fighter or anything, but, it's like I admire what they do over there. It's like they always care about the way it feels in your hands. It's like the game is not... It doesn't matter what it looks like if it doesn't feel good to control. They did that with Devil May Cry, which is a great game. That's a great game that'll break your finger because you have to hit the fucking X button so many times.
Yeah. So to wrap this up,
all right, let's wrap it.
With what we know right now, as far as everything that's been released, and there's rumors of things like BioShock, whatever. So taking all that stuff out of the equation, what is a property, an IP, however you want to categorize it? What is something that you want to see adapted into a show that's good, like Fallout? For you,
I mean, they're making Ghost of Tsushima. That's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah,
that's gonna be. I don't know if that's a movie or a show, but that'll be
a
great.
Little spin-off thing. Yeah.
It's
Amazon
hard to say
is doing this,
off.
and I'm pretty excited for it because I played like the first game. Yakuza looks good.
That would be sick.
Yeah, so
that would be wonderful. That could go for a long time too. Yeah, I mean, those Kiwami games are great, like a Dragon and all that stuff. Sega does a nice job with those. I mean, it's hard to say. It's like I would love to see like a fucking Dragon's Dogma show would be amazing. Like anything like a Final Fantasy show would be amazing.
Yeah,
where they just start from scratch. Like I like how Final Fantasy has a new story every episode. Every numbered version is a totally different like multiverse facet, right?
Yeah.
It's totally different every time.
That would be great. Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably think of something later. Dig Dug. I can't wait to see the Dig Dug show.
When Pong comes out,
I remember the Pac-Man show. They had a fucking Pac-Man cartoon. It was horrific when I was a little kid. I don't know. At some point, I also just want them to make a show. I don't care about the branding and the tie-in. Just make good original shit and like make new shit. Like I always want to see something fucking new, like I haven't seen before.
I'd want to see that with video games. Like if they adapted Infamous, I'd like that.
I like the Silent Hill movie that they made. Have you ever seen the Silent Hill movie?
I saw, but I don't remember it.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's not a bad movie.
They made a couple of them, right?
It's pretty creepy. The Silent Hill 2 game just dropped. I want to play that for sure, but I don't want to pay $70 for it.
Yeah,
is that weird? Because it's got really good reviews, and I love Silent Hill. But I don't want to pay $70 for it. Listen, Konami, send me a code. You want me to review your game?
I'll do it. I'll review it.
When are we going to become like guys who like they just give codes to?
Yeah, right.
Like,
you get one of those guys like, hey, today. I got a code. I'll give you the code. You know.
Yeah. Drops enabled.
What's that game that has like? Oh, Resistance. Did you ever play the Resistance games?
Is that the? Oh yeah.
With
I remember that. The same company that made Horizon Zero Dawn.
Made
that the Dutch Gorilla.
No. That's Killzone. You think of Killzone?
Oh, Killzone. Okay.
Yeah,
what was Resistance?
Insomniac.
Oh, okay. I remember that. It was like the aliens with like 3 fangs and like.
That would be
I remember that was a launch title.
That'd be an amazing TV show.
I would love to see them reboot that game.
They need remasters. They need reboots. Everything. That game was so good. They had a game on the
PlayStation 3
on the Vita that I fucking loved. Oh, that game was so good. I loved Resistance.
Why would they just drop something like that? It seems like it was really going well.
Yeah, I don't know. That game needs to come back.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you, people, for joining us. Thank you, Dark. You dummy.
You know what? This is the funny thing. Even though listen, I'll tell you what. We're so close to being affiliate. I wouldn't be surped if this is the fucking thing that does it because we have enough time.
We have a lot of the things. We just need the hours.
We have everything. We just need the hours.
Yeah.
And it's like we have all the followers that we need, and so we're so close. We need to get JC protein. He's been swimming so much, and if we could supplement his diet with protein. With some income, that would be fantastic. And then your dad might like this, has all the hours, but doesn't have the followers.
Go follow. You're not following your dad might like this. Go follow that. Go tell your friends.
Yeah, go tell your friends about your dad might like this. And you know what? Your dad might like this.
He might. I don't want to guarantee anything.
I would love to rate out, but we can't rate out because we're not affiliate. That's the crazy part about this show. You know what the thing is about this show, though? People watch the VODs and people watch the YouTube.
The YouTube, the YouTube pops off.
It gets so many views on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not sweating it. We have a nice time. It's fun for us. That's all that matters. And we're gonna listen. Ababox will be here on Saturday.
So the schedule for this upcoming week, which is crazy. We have a schedule.
What is the schedule?
Our show now. Friday morning at 6. Yeah, Friday morning at 6 a.m. I have to wake up at fucking 6 a.m., which is crazy.
I'm not watching that goddamn Joker movie. I know it got panned.
Yeah, goddamn it. So 6 a.m. this Friday, we are gonna review Joker 2, Fale à Deux. That's how you pronounce it. It'll be JC, myself, and a special guest. It is a friend that JC went to school with, a film school with. So that'll be interesting. 6 a.m.
And I'm going to take part in those as soon as I can.
He's going to be sleeping
in November.
on this episode. He'll be sleeping. 6 a.m.
I'll be sleeping. I'll
6 a.m. You'll be sleeping.
No, I won't. I get up at 4.
Okay, whatever. So.
No, I'm fucking. And then this is what happens. Around noon, I pass out from like 12 to 4, and then I do this stuff. But from like 4 to noon, I'm like doing shit. I'm like meeting and stuff and normal stuff.
So that's this Friday.
In November, I'll be here. Listen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. After
I'm sad. I wanted to see Alien, the Alien movie. I love the Alien.
See it. It's a good movie.
I know I can, but you know, this is the other thing. I wish I had a neighborhood movie theater that wasn't such a pain, because to go to the movies here, you have to go downtown,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's where the only theaters are, and you have to like park and
It's a whole thing.
Oh, I want to watch it on my TV. I have a giant fucking TV and a beautiful chair. Why do I have to go to the movie? It's going to be better here.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem. Release everything directly to video now. I'm tired.
You should.
I don't need to go to the theater. This is as good as the theater.
Mm-hmm. And then, so then we got that Friday. Saturday, we have the main show with ABBABOX this Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
Kung Fu Hustle.
I've never seen it, so I'm pretty excited.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it probably Friday night, so it's fresh. Mm-hmm. And then we have to make sure that I remember to remind ABBABOX about the Riverside link.
Yeah, I'll write a little reminder. And then we have some more stuff working in the pipeline, reviewing more little things here and there.
Yeah, we should do more. We should do a gaming stream. Maybe we'll play Resident Evil 5 for Halloween or something, like a co-op session, or just see if we like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to get better at streaming shit and running shit. I keep forgetting I have Steam and I can do Game Pass shit on the PC.
Yeah.
And we can do more stuff. It's like there's no reason why we can't, because I'm getting better at it too.
Right, yeah. I was about to go live last night on this account just to fuck with everybody. Like, just yell about the Dodgers. I was so mad.
Go live on. I didn't see. I'm sorry. They had
fucking mad.
Listen, I was upset about the Buffalo Bills recently. They've been getting fucking whooped on.
Yeah.
The Texans beat them.
Yeah, so
it's crazy.
Friday could be an interesting day because we do the Joker thing. Oh, and then I go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I possibly am going to maybe if the Dodgers win tonight, I go to the Game 5 in LA for the decisive.
They should win tonight.
So hopefully
we'll be rooting for them then.
Yeah.
We'll be rooting for him. Listen, we also have our Just Kidding show on Thursday.
Thursday.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, Dark BMX can host it. If
he can do it again,
because I don't care. Right? It's like I don't have the fucking. He knows how to set it up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it doesn't upset anybody,
yeah,
we should just let Dark BMX run it.
Yeah,
and I think Craig said the same thing. Also, Kill Tanya's on tonight. I think I'll probably be guest hosting or guest judging.
Okay.
I guess. That's probably on at 7 Pacific, so there's time before that.
I will be possibly crying at that time for the baseball game, so we'll see what happens.
Don't cry.
I gotta cry.
Listen, who's pitching?
Who fucking knows? It's a bullpen game.
Oh, shit. Yeah. It's a fucking slop game.
Just trying to piecemeal. Got a piecemeal.
Are they playing in L.A.?
No, San Diego.
Okay.
Right down the street from Craig's. Crazy.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, tough world.
Listen, watching playoff games are rough.
It is.
How are the Yankees doing? They won the other day.
Who are
they playing right now?
1-1. The Royals.
Oh, fuck the Royals.
It's 1-1 in that series. So.
Yeah, but do the Yankees have the pitching to actually win the World Series? See, this is the problem when you're a Yankees fan. If they don't win the World Series, it's a disappointment.
Oh, yeah, of course. The Mets
you can't just go to the World Series.
The Mets moved on.
Lose.
Next round. The Yankees are currently winning, so all right, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you.
Yankees Dodgers World Series.
It literally prints money. And that's all it would do. Just print money.
It'd be awesome.
Ratings, everything, yeah.
Everything. All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Bye everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.